Oh, well, I'm just too excited today because it is the fourth day of the Virtual Open Week 2025. And we've got my favorite day of all. Absolutely excited and buzzing and all over the place to be hanging out with real life Primalistas today. So we've got Emily, who's been a
Hi.
Primalista for 6 years, and she is in South Australia. We've got Manda from the
Hey.
Gold Coast, and we've got Gail from Victoria.
Hi, everyone.
So the first question that I've got, and we'll start with you, Emily, because just you're at the top of my screen.
Sure. Okay. No worries.
And we'd love to hear why you decided to join Primal Alternative all those years ago.
At the time, I was on extended maternity leave with my second son, and he had some developmental delays, which required a lot of regular therapy. So my focus was just on that, and I didn't really have the headspace for a proper job at the time, and I still wanted and needed to bring in a little bit of income. So I was really just looking for something flexible that I could fit in around my life, and Primal Alternative popped up at the perfect time. So I
Awesome.
went for it.
Fast forward 6 years later,
Fast
and
forward 6 years. Yeah.
yeah, happy Primiversary. Very cool.
Thank you. Yeah, it's pretty much exactly a year. It was September 2019 that I signed up to the Primalista license. So, yeah.
Yeah, I know we had a Primalista discovery call on September the 25th.
September the 25th. Yeah. So we're pretty much almost there. Yeah.
Yes, bang on the day.
Yeah.
Perfect. Awesome. And what about you, Manda? What made you decide to join Primal Alternative?
Wow, similar kind of story to Emily, actually. My little boy also has some additional needs and
Yeah.
appointments and all of the things. I was juggling that, however, with at the time, full-time job that I really wasn't loving. And I also trade the futures markets, which is quite a steely kind of masculine thing. There's no room for any creativity or any of that kind of thing. So I was looking for something that would allow me to be a little bit creative, that would give me a little bit of something. And then I remember vividly the day that I jumped on the webinar. I'd been on webinars and stuff since September 2020. I just looked back in my emails. That was my first ever like sales webinar thing that I attended, and
Mhm.
the timing wasn't right just back then. And then I had a doozer of a morning at work. Like my boss had been at me for stuff that I hadn't done, or well, not stuff that I hadn't done, stuff that I shouldn't have been doing that I hadn't done. It was just like one of those. And then the reminder popped up that I'd booked on a webinar that day with you, and I was like, you guys, I'm going to go out on my lunch break, take a break, listen to this webinar. I need to make some changes. So I jumped on the webinar, had a discovery call with H the next day, and the following day, went and told my boss that I was going part time. But I actually tried to resign, and they was like, "No, go part time." And it all kind of worked out. So I was really desperate for something different, and Primal just it was just the right time. It was perfect.
Love that. I love that.
Yeah.
And I particularly also love your very glamorous house. Is that
Oh
yours?
yeah. Well, here's the thing. We're in my trading den, and Mikey is home from school holidays here in Queensland.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, he's gaming in the corner, and the people out on the street doing roadworks. So it's
Oh.
like I'm stuck.
Well, it
That's why
looks
you've got
lovely. I was
like
like, wow, I didn't realize
glamorous
you had such a
backdrop.
glamorous house. But
No, I don't.
that's hilarious. A girl's, oh, then she's back. Oh, what have you
Oh,
got there? You
sorry,
got
the dog. Why did she decide to start barking right now? Anyway,
because you're on a Zoom call.
of course.
Like why they decided to do roadworks outside Manda's today, same thing.
Mm,
And why both of my kids decided, well, we haven't got school holidays here. Ours don't start till next week.
yeah,
But I've got a TAFE interview with my daughter this afternoon, so she's off, and then my son's off. I'm like, why are you all here?
anyway, I've got her in my arms, and hopefully that'll shut her up a bit.
She'll be happy. She'll
Yeah.
be happy. So tell us why you joined Primal Alternative, Gail.
Well, I had actually been grain-free for many, many years, wheat and gluten allergy, and so I was gluten-free for ages, but I still didn't find it was 100%. But as soon as I went grain-free, things changed dramatically, and that was fantastic. I'm also a Thermomix consultant, and when I saw the ad for this, um, it was something I'd wanted to do myself for a long, long time, but I didn't have no idea where to start. And all of a sudden, up popped Helen's ad. And when I looked through it all, she'd done all the hard work, everything that I wanted to do for myself. It was all Thermomix based. Not always, you don't need to be a Thermomix owner, but it helped a lot. It all just tied in with everything I believed. I loved the products. And yeah, it was as simple as that, really. That was a no-brainer for me. It was perfect. And thanks, H, for doing all that hard work, because I would never have got started otherwise.
Oh, you're welcome. It's hard. It is. There's a lot, right? A
Yeah.
lot. And we've gone through it, not just it's not like just the one time. We've been through it
Mm.
hundreds of times. So every time we found something that's not, quite right, or there's been some changes to the food standards labels or whatever, then we bring everything up to speed for everyone, which is it takes a lot of work. It's like a full-time job doing all of
Yeah.
that kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah. So thank you. That's awesome. All right, I've got an interesting question next. Um, blah, 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 blah. So here it is. Did you have any hesitations or worries about joining? And this is to you, Emily.
Okay, yeah.
And how did you move past them?
So with me, I actually didn't have any hesitations at all, which is quite unusual because I know that you usually do. But I had actually been manifesting something like this to come up and something I could do from home and not having to go back to work into the real world. And yeah, so when I came across it, just felt like the perfect fit. And I booked a call with you and registered my business name before I'd even booked a call with you. So yeah, I knew I was going to do it, but I know that that's not the same situation for everybody. You might be different, Manda and Gail.
What about you, Manda?
I did have hesitations. I'd been watching you for like
Four
how long?
years.
Yeah, yeah.
It's one of my, I know because it's one of my quotes. You were like, I was on the fence for 4 years and I can't believe I didn't join sooner.
And I didn't even get on a webinar with you until like, so for 3 of those years, it was just popping up on Facebook and wherever you were doing your things. And yeah, you were in my inbox and all of that. And yeah, I was at the time I didn't realize, but when I've reflected on it, it was all the things for me that I've been working through in most of my adult life. Am I good enough? Am I worthy? Will I be supported? They are the three things that come up for me whenever I look at doing a new venture. It's like, am I good enough? And I'm like, and on that call with you, I don't think I even asked you those questions, but you answered them for me without me even asking. So, am I good enough? Hell yes, it's not difficult. The recipes aren't hard, of course. Am I worthy of it? Oh, like, how limiting is that? Like, how crazy? And will I be supported? Oh, yes. I have never been as supported in any of my business ventures or jobs as I have with Primal. Like H, just shout out to H, just amazing. But the girls in the community as well, in the Facebook group, like life-saving. So
Mm.
many times in a normal job when I've come up with a bit of a hurdle, there's really nobody to, it's not a sistership like out there in the real world. You can't just phone. I could never feel like I could just phone a friend and ask. But this is so different. It's just such a different energy. So yeah, hell yes, I had lots of hesitations and worries, but all blown out of the ballpark in a single call.
That's
That's a
amazing.
development work
And
on
then
my
and
part.
then and then proof in the pudding, like the support. I mean, yes, I'm there and I help you as much as I can, but it's the whole community. Like I get support from the community,
Mm,
like we all support each other. It's a really cool it's a really cool dynamic. And I'm from the corporate world as well, and there's none of that. It was so competitive and cutthroat and quite bitchy, to be honest. But
yeah, there's no fight to the top, is there, with this?
no,
Like,
there's no top. It's just a
I
level
know.
playing field. It's just, we don't have like top performers and we're not like rah rah, she's this and all that because everybody's got a different version of how they want to run their business. And And everyone, we all charge the same price and we all agree not to, approach each other stockists because nobody wants to step on anyone's toes. Not that that ever really seems to happen much in the real world anyway, does it? That's one of the things you think before you come in. Yeah, and it is super supportive. And I think you're slightly different, Manda. It's a really nice contrast to Emily and Gail, who they both put me through a discovery call and made me like jump through all the hoops. But they already knew that they were going to join before the call, isn't that right, Gail? Before
Yeah,
you were
it
like
was true.
already knew.
Absolutely.
So any reservations?
Me?
Yeah, before you
No,
joined?
not really. I had made up my mind. I still needed the call because I needed to get a few more details. But yes, I just knew that was set for me. It was exactly what I wanted to do myself, as I mentioned before. And again, because it was all set up, and I just loved the cooking side of things, and yeah, it was pretty much fait accompli. I don't know if you knew that during the
No, I
call,
didn't.
but
Thanks.
yeah, no, it wouldn't. But I was 99% sure, put it that way.
Yeah, awesome. Love that. Love that. Love that. All right, next question on my list. Okay, so I think we've answered that. I've sort of got one question that's all three. What made you say yes? We've kind of said that. Share some of your like aha moments or your breakthroughs or the little wins that you've experienced that's meant a lot. Emily.
Okay, so as you know, I joined in September 2019. So I used the rest of that year to just get organized with setting up my business and registering the kitchen and everything. So when I was ready to launch in January 2020, when school started, yeah, we had a bit of a lockdown. So as I was launching Primal Alternative by Emily, everything was locked down. So what was felt like a huge win for me is finding out that I was considered an essential service. So I didn't have to pause that. I could keep going with my launch and yeah, still provide food. I advertised in my local buy swap sell page on Facebook and got a massive response from everyone wanting to place orders. And then I got a local stockist, and that really boosted my confidence and credibility as well. So yeah, when it seemed like it was stopping for a lot of people, I was, yeah, having a huge boost of confidence. So that was not just a small win, but a really big win.
That's a banger. I love that one.
Yeah.
I love that one. And I know that we were looking at your original call notes the other day when you and I were having a meeting. And you'd listed all of the places because Emily's very organized, right? Very
I
organized.
am. Yeah, yeah, a bit
She's
too
a
much.
details girl, right? Which is great. And she listed all the places that she was thinking of approaching as stockists. And you normally start quite wide, you cast your net quite wide, and then you sort of hone into maybe, a couple of stockists. And that's exactly what you did, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So I think I don't know how many I listed off, but at the end of the day, I didn't want that many stockists. They were just ideas I had, but I got my two local stockists in the area, and that's all I needed. I've got a lot of direct customers as well, so it's a good balance.
Perfect. That's awesome. And what about you, Manda? Tell us about your wins and ahas.
Yeah. Like the big one was like just doing something new. I'd been like stuck for so long in a place of, as you heard from my answer before, am I good enough, worthy, and all of that. And having customers, having people come to my website like that I didn't know, and seeing those orders pop in was just like amazing. That was like heck. And and then another really big moment, and it was a real like tug on the heart moment for me, was a lady who orders between 12 and 20 packs of the low carb pizza bases a time. She's just a mum at home, but her kid has some special dietary requirements, and it's the only carby kind of thing that he can eat without getting quite unwell. And one day the time, sometimes I courier it to her, and other times I just take the opportunity to drive up to Brizzy and, make it a day out, like make it a bit of a lifestyle thing when I do a delivery to her. So And this particular day, I got time on my hands, and she had time on her hands, and we had the most beautiful conversation around all things kids, food, the system. We went quite deep. It was just beautiful, and she's become a really, I wouldn't say a really close friend, but she sends me messages at Christmas and just check-ins every now and again in between orders, and like we're just chatty on the chat. It's just so beautiful to find new friends because I'm very introverted.
Are you?
I really am. Just to find new connections. It's just such a beautiful. That's one of the parts of the business that I love so much. Like other big aha moment was very recent. Like how many years in am I? 3, 4, I don't know. Is nailing the wraps.
Oh,
I have had
finally.
a and ridiculous. It was only that I was only making like 1 or 2 packets per 2 or 3 months, so I wasn't really getting opportunity to really get it down. But another Primalista in the area is just on a break, and I'm looking after one of her stockists, and they ordered quite a lot of that. So it's like I've had to embrace that, and I've got it. It's like love it.
So
So easy to
what was what was there like a magic thing that you did to get it
yeah.
just so?
So here's the thing. So with the vat mix, you are supposed to let it stand for a while to thicken. I wasn't always doing that because I was
Oh
never quite
well, you see.
enough. So I'm gonna let it
Follow the
thicken. Follow the
recipe.
hard. It's like 4 steps. And then just finding the right amount of oil to use on the baking paper slash silicon thingy matting
Hmm.
thing.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was using too much oil for most of the time, and it just wasn't sitting and setting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Anyway, whatever, like go, go, go. So it was a product that I nearly took off my website because every time I got an order for it, I
Oh,
was like, oh, and yet they're so useful. Like,
that's
how
so
hard is it
good. Yeah,
to
love
get
them.
a good
Mm,
wrap?
mm. I always have pastry and always have wraps in the
Yeah.
freezer because, like, if you've got to feel like Thursday night when you've sort of run out of enthusiasm for dinners, it's just like, right, what's left in the fridge? And then get out the wraps, get out all the salad bits, and it's like leftover wraps. That's like one of my favorite.
Do you know what we use the wraps for? This is completely off topic, but big share is Sam has started making Mexican lasagna. So we've got leftover chili con carne.
Hmm.
We use the wraps as the layer, the lasagna layer, and cheese sauce. Absolutely delicious. He's like, when you're making wraps, can you make some wrong
Yeah, yeah.
so that we can use them? He's
Some
like, no,
duds.
I don't make ones anymore.
Yeah,
I'm like,
sorry, too good at them now. I've perfected it.
yeah. And I started using the nut. This is the thing. And Gail, you were talking about you being grain free for a long time. I've tried to be grain free for a long time. I'm celiac. And
Mm.
so I've been gluten free, got that nailed, but the grain free thing has always been hard. We've been using the sweet potato pastry for naan breads.
Yeah,
Amazing. It's
yeah,
so
no,
easy.
they're so
Fry
good.
it out, hot pan.
Mm. Mm.
Mm,
Chef's kiss. Yeah, I
yes.
we do the naans all the time. Yeah, with the pastry, and the pastry is also really good. Sorry, this is turning into a bit of a chat.
I know, sorry.
Sorry, I was
Just
just
so
vibing
excited.
on recipes. But the plain pastry, the quirky cooking pastry, is really good as lasagna sheets as well. So, like if you're thinking, oh, this is going to be a great business, and I'm going to be able to give people in the community great food, yes and yes, but also like it totally opens up your whole family to amazing products that you'll be able to supply in your house at cost price. Like cheaper than what you'd get at the health food store or the co-op. You'll be buying ingredients in bulk with your ABN, and you just like any cakes or anything you're like, yes, I've got 10 kilos of almond meal and 2 kilos of tapioca starch, and you're off. So I love that. Yes, brilliant, Manda. Love it, love it, love it. What was the question? Oh yes,
Um,
ahas.
yes, that
Gail,
was our heart, all of those.
what do you say, Gail?
I had a wonderful aha moment a few months back when Quirky came down. I'm not sure if everybody's aware of Quirky cooking, but she came down to do a seminar, and she actually invited me along to have a table at her seminar and interest people, because most of the people that would have been there were definitely looking for help with their gut issues and all of the things we all experience. Yeah, it was just lovely to meet her. And she was just so generous and so kind to let me do that. She helped me out in every way possible. And yeah, I picked up quite a few orders from there and introduced the products to others, as well as being there while she did the seminar and learned a lot from her as well. So yeah, that was amazing, and I guess I was just very fortunate that at the time I was the only Victorian or Melbourne person available, but I made the most of it, believe me.
Yeah, that's amazing. And that's one thing that we don't talk about either, when we're talking about what you get with a license. But you do get, as you touched on, Manda, you do get to connect with a lot of new like-minded people. Like you're not just meeting through the normal channels, right? Like mums groups or school gate stuff. Or I never really got on with my mums group anyway, to be honest. I was a bit too weird. Having a home birth and sleeping with my kid and stuff like that. They didn't like me in that group. But that's okay because turns out I was a bit of a hip. I was a bit of a hip. I was a bit of a hip. I was a knee. But yeah, also just the connections in terms of the wider Primalista primal alternative community. Like there's so many opportunities like Gail had to go and whenever Joe's doing an event, if anyone from Primal Alternative wants to go and watch the seminar for free. You can even like help her cook at some things. Like she's all for supporting that kind of thing. I went on a quickie cooking retreat a couple of years ago and I met Primalista Tash, who was going to be here but isn't here. And it was so nice just hanging out with like-minded women, cooking healthy, gut nourishing food, for a week. We had a blast and we've done stuff with Pete Evans and when the Wellness Couch pre-COVID was doing all of its summits and base camps, we used to get together at all of those. Just like the list goes on. Like Amanda, you've cooked for Elise Comerford on a few occasions.
Yeah, also, and Alex from Low Tox Life,
Yeah,
Alex Stewart, she came to our local library and did a thing, and I went along and yeah, had some brownie mix and stuff, and we did cookies. And
fun.
very cool.
It's
Yeah.
so cool. What about you? Have any famous people ever come to South Australia? Sorry. Normally we've got to go, don't we, to the cool places from when you're in WA, like I am, and South, like no, we've got to go. It's 15 hours for me to get to these bloody things. So no one famous in your neck of the woods, Emily? No. No, never mind. That's funny. That's funny. All right. So okay, my next question is what's been your favorite part of the license itself, or the community, or the lifestyle? Emily. Oh, you have to unmute. There you go.
There we go. There we go. It's all been great, but definitely the lifestyle for me. So I have made it work around family life. So from the beginning, I've just never worked in the school holidays. So I just basically have 4 10-week baking blocks a year, and that's what I do, and that's during school terms. So yeah, that's my favorite part. Like I've just tailored it around how I want to do things, and yeah, it's working, and I don't have to. My customers are used to it. I don't miss out on baking any orders because of that, because people just stock up before everyone knows. Oh, Emily's having the holidays off. I'll put in a big order. So my last week before school holidays is always a pretty busy one, and yeah, works out really well.
No, I love that. And I saw your post, I think it was yesterday. You're
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
yeah,
just
you should
letting
just
everyone know.
yeah, that's all you've got to do. And it's a really common question. Or what do you do if you have holidays or you get sick or you need a break? Well, there's really two options. One, do what Emily does. And I think I really admire that Emily does this because, she's still doing it 6 years later. So it really does go to show that taking regular breaks and, having that nice, isn't that nice? Just like 10 blocks of
Yeah,
bake, sorry, 4 blocks of 10 weeks of baking a year with 10 weeks holidays was wonderful. And then,
yeah.
she's, yeah, getting to be with the family and
And that's probably why I'm still here because I don't get sick of it because I just have a break and use that time to reset, and I order all my bulk ingredients during the holiday break and labels and things I need. And yeah,
Perfect.
easy.
And the other way to do it is to do what I know Manda does with Elaine, who's also on the Gold Coast, is you can get another Primalista that's nearby you to cover orders while you're away. Now, this can be pretty good, especially for stockists if they're used to people coming into the shop every week. Like sometimes with stockists, that's a retailer or a store. If a customer goes to the store and the Primal alternative products aren't on the shelf, they're not going to know that you're having a holiday. They might think, oh, they've stopped stocking it, and they might never go back. So one thing you can do is get a Primalista to cover for you while you take a break, and then you've just got that consistency. The Primalista who's covering for you, they get paid obviously for those orders, but what you get is just that you just step straight back into your orders at the full percent. Have you got anything to say about that, Manda?
Yeah, back to my am I good enough? Blah 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 blah. When I first started, one of my main concerns was there's a Primalista 10 minutes away from me. Like, how is that going to work? I am so blessed, and Elena said the same. She's been in like 6, 7 years as well.
Longer, yeah, yeah.
Longer.
Yeah, she's longer than
Eight,
me.
nearly eight.
Yeah.
Like she's like the,
Yeah.
the longest standing Primalista
Yeah.
with her and chicken.
And she was ready to be able to take this little break. Like she'd got some stuff she needed to do, and even before that, like I was, yeah. If she was busy, holidays, kids, whatever, I'd jump in and do some orders for her. She's done some stuff for me. It's just there's no need to be scared of somebody in your area. I'd recommend it. If she didn't come, I know she will, but if she decided to move on or like move house or whatever her thing may be, I'd be like, H, let's do some marketing on the Gold Coast. I need another sister. Like, how do we, and I know you encourage us to share this with other bakers. Um, yeah, do it.
Yeah.
It's like,
It is. We do have this like, and I said it before. We do have this like fear, and somebody asked it in one of the. There's lots of DMs and PMs at the moment, with the virtual open week, and someone was asking me, "Oh, what if somebody's already in my town?" And that's really a common thing. But I always say to people like, how many families can one woman bake for? Like, come on, we're just little micro bakers in a domestic kitchen. We're not going to just totally take out the whole of a town. And as Manda said, it can be really helpful to have someone close by. Like we've had people going to people's houses to borrow labels because they're like, oh, I've run out of labels and I've got an order. Even I remember when Rosie's oven broke, she went and did all of her baking at Shelley's house, and that was in Perth. And Rosie had a massive business. She had like 13 stockists and a market and loads of direct customers. So she couldn't just like, she couldn't just say like, so Primalista Cat who lives where I live, her oven's broken, and she's taken that as a sign from the universe to have a well-earned break. Like she wants a break. But I'm like, you can come to my house. You can cook in my oven. My kitchen's approved. And that's just kind of the vibe, right? If you've got people nearby you, it really isn't competitive. You can share orders together, order together, share the freight costs. People meet up in car parks, divvying out chopped chips. Um, from honest to goodness, going for cuppers. It can be beautiful. It can be really nice. So yeah, the more primalistas, the merrier, I reckon, for sure. What about you, Gail? And I'll just remind you what the question was. Oh yeah, what's your favorite part of the license itself, the community, or the lifestyle?
I think I'd have to say the lifestyle. The ability to work from home is just amazing. Um, I had a lady yesterday who ordered 10 loaves, pumpkin loaves, and that was a fair bit in one go. And I promised her that it would be in the mail that night. And yeah, I could still do quite a few other things. I was doing exam marking, which is something I do from time to time, a couple of times a year. But I was able to juggle both of them, and she got her 10 loaves and in the mail last night at the post office. Maybe only half an hour to go, but we made it. And yeah, so it's just so simple. It's just mix all your ingredients up, pop them in the oven, and the time they're in the oven, that's it. You're just doing whatever you need to do. So that lifestyle suits me down to the ground, and I'm really, really happy to do that. Sometimes I just want to get ahead with some of the mixes and have those on hand. That's something else. If I've got a bit of spare time, I'll go make some granola or some of the other mixes that have a longer shelf life, and that's really great too. It means you can get ahead, and you're not just doing the immediate ones. And when somebody orders and it's already there, wow, that's fantastic too. So again, I've got a cat and a dog as well who love to do all sorts of things, and so I got to keep an eye on them, and I'm always around for them as well. So couldn't be happier working from home.
Perfect. Love that, Gail. Yeah, I just saw your cat just slink past.
Oh, that would have been him. Yeah, he's a bit of a rascal.
Mine hasn't made any appearances today, but I have got all the doors locked because the children are home. So keep the kids out. And not, no, I'm joking. They're lovers, really. But yeah, just on pets, just raise your hands, Primalistas, if you have pets.
Cat and a
Mm,
dog.
cat and a dog. You've got a cat and a dog. I've got two cats. So you can have cats and any pets, birds, anything. You just need to make sure that you keep them out of the kitchen when the health inspector comes around, and when you're baking. And then, simple things like you've got your clean apron. So any animal furs and stuff like that aren't getting into the foods. Yeah. So we've got some questions from the floor. Lynn was going to ask about animals. So there we go. Yeah, that's a really straightforward one. So just something really technical like a door. Just close the door, keep them out. Because we all know the cats walk around on the bench tops when we're not looking. But just wipe it all down before you start. And yeah, keep your tins stored in the drawer upside down so they don't collect any dust or hairs or things like that. Just really simple tips like that. That's all part of the training. And your environmental health officer will give you tips like that as well. They're really helpful. We might talk actually a little bit about council, but any questions you've got, I've asked all of my questions. All right. So whatever questions our live attendees have got, chuck them in the chat now. Robin's got a really good question. How do you store all your bulk ingredients, especially the almond meal? Emily.
Almond meal comes in 10-kilo boxes, and I have big white buckets that store 10 kilos. So I store my almond meal and my tapioca flour in the two big 10-kilo buckets, which I've got on wheels, and I just wheel out of my pantry. And then everything else just in smaller, like depending on the size they come in, like 5 litre big plastic tubs with lids. It just all has to be rodent proof. So big plastic tubs. Then my spare ingredients that don't fit in to all the tubs and things in my pantry, I just have a really big plastic tub with a lid. So yeah.
So for like your spices and things like that?
Yeah. So I have a very large walk-in pantry, and I've just got big tubs stacked everywhere. And then for anything, because I order in bulk. Like when I first got started, I started sort of low cost, just ordering smaller things. But yeah, you get into your rhythm, and then it makes more sense to order lots of bulk things at a time. So that's what I do. But yeah, the almond meal and the tapioca come out on wheels. So I'm not having to carry heavy things. And yeah, this morning I've even used up 10 kilos of almond meal. So
Wow.
yeah, I've had an order for
just before I jumped on this
just
Zoom
before
call.
I jumped on,
looking amazing.
I did an order for 40 packets of the low carb pancake and waffle mix. So that's just under 10 kilos worth. So that bucket went from being quite full to quite empty. So yeah.
That's so cool. And the baking. I love the packet mixes for that. It's just like, well, the recipes are measure, mix, and bake. And then when you do the packet mixes, it's just measure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No baking. The oven hasn't been on today.
No baking. And quite a lot of people ask about packet mixes. They think, oh, the packet mixes come from me. Right? It's a really common question. It's like, no, you just put the dry ingredients in a pouch. I'm like, oh, yeah. It's brilliant. It's a brilliant Yeah, a brilliant business model because the mixes because the margin's still really high. Like on the packet mixes, you don't have to bake them, you don't have to worry so much about the shelf life, and like Gail said, you can make them in advance and have them ready to go, which is really cool as well. Do you find Gail that sorry, do you find Emily that people prefer not so much the pancake because that is just a mix, but do you find that your packet mixes of the ready-made products, which one sells better, the mixes or the ready-made products?
The ready-made, yeah, definitely the loaves. For me, the only thing I really do in packet mix is I've got a customer that does order bulk, and he knows that I'm coming up to school holidays, so he's like 40 packets, please.
Wow.
But yeah, freshly baked. They're a family of six, so they prioritize eating well, so they're good regular customers of mine. But yeah, the freshly baked, ready-made is
Perfect.
more popular.
Perfect. What a great setup. And I mentioned before, Emily's very organized. I'm not very organized. So I used to, and I didn't have a fancy walk-in pantry. Like I still don't. I had when I first started Primalistering, we were living in a shed with like a tiny Sharris kitchen. It literally had 1.2 meters of bench space because I remember measuring it, thinking, how can I make this work? It's so teeny tiny. But really, all you're doing is bringing your ingredients up onto the bench, putting it in the mixer, then putting it in the oven. So you don't need a lot of bench space, right? Right. And I didn't have any, we had like a tiny pantry. So I used to just chuck all of my bags of ingredients into those stackable boxes from Bunnings and then just wheel them into the corner in the bedroom. And then when it was bake day, wheel everything out again, get it all out because you need to keep your ingredients separate
Yeah.
from the household ingredients to reduce cross-contamination. What about you, Manda? What's your setup like?
Similar. So I've got the bottom of our pantry. It's not a walk-in. It's like two halves, four doors. So the bottom two doors, I've got all my everyday primal bits and pieces, like the stuff that I've put into containers. The almond meal I've got I can just lift it like with the handle. It's just a big tub with a handle. I think it probably is like 3 kilos. So I kind of have that as my just in the cupboard stuff. And then the rest of the 10 kilo box, I just pop in. I've got a spare fridge in the garage. We call it next door's fridge. And it just goes in there, just in one of the pull-out drawers. I go through it quite a lot. Well, I go through phases. So yeah, depending on who's ordered, I'll clear, a 10 kilo box in like a couple of weeks, and other times it can sit for a month. So I'm careful now to just order it because I know that those orders are coming in. But I'm really close as well to healthy wholesalers, so I can pick up stuff
Perfect.
really quick, which is good. And then in the hallway, I've got like my overflow cupboard. So I'll buy like 5 kilos of the sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, sesame, like all of those like main big ingredients that aren't as bulky. And I reckon 2 kilos fits in my everyday pantry, and the rest is in, probably what you use, just like a big Bunnings box that's rodent proof and whatever, on wheels. They just sit in there, and I just wheel it out when I need to top up. So
Perfect.
yeah, easy.
I think we're going to have to do a thing in the Facebook group because your setups all sound amazing, especially yours, Emily. Like take a screenshot of your like pantry
Yeah.
setup because I want
I forgot
to.
to mention I've got one of those IKEA trolleys as well. It's like a three-tiered trolley. So that's what in jars I've got like my spices and my salt and just all the smaller ingredients and peanut butter, maple syrup, chopped chips. So all the smaller things, and I can just wheel that out. So I wheel out my main things, and then the smaller things I just grab at the time,
Amazing.
pop it back in the pantry.
Much more organized than me, you see. So you can be really good, organized, and make a really good business, or you can just be all over the place and still do it too. So you just do whatever works for you. What about Gail? What about Gail? What's
Yeah,
your setup like?
very similar, very similar. Big tubs, and for all the big ones, and just ordinary containers for the smaller things. But I don't buy almond meal. I actually buy the almonds in bulk, and I make them fresh every time. For example, yesterday with the 10 loaves, I think it was 220 grams of almond meal, and so I had to do 5 lots of that. So I just mixed all that up at the beginning. It's 10 seconds in the Thermomix. So again, that really helps. And then I just make that up fresh, because sometimes I don't do quite as many orders as the other girls, and I don't like the thought of it just sitting there. It can go up. So I'd rather just do the amounts that I need right then and there, and it's as fresh as can be.
Awesome. Let's talk
Yeah.
about. Oh, sorry, Manda, you go.
I was going to say, just on that as well, in Queensland, where it's cold over there, where you are, hey, at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
I keep getting told, yeah, it's hot up here. So yeah, I do make use of that spare fridge to store like the spare walnuts and those things that can go rancid,
Yeah.
some of the seeds and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, in the heat of summer, I'm really mindful just to put stuff in the fridge for that and buy smaller quantities.
Yeah. Perfect. Perfect. You've all got a good system going. What about cancel? We haven't talked about cancel, and I know that's a common question. So just give us a bit of a rundown on what your cancel experience was like initially, and then like, is there an every year thing, Emily?
So initially I was kind of shut down, but then that was just because they didn't really understand it. So once I provided all the information, it was really straightforward. And my EHO came out for just the initial inspection, and every year he comes out, and that's always sort of November, December. So it's a nice time of year leading up to Christmas. And yeah, I just run through all my processes again every year, and he just signs off, yeah, good to see you again, Emily, another year. Yeah, so pretty straightforward. Yeah.
Sounds easy. And you joined so long ago. It was like pre-food safety
It
program.
was it was pre that. So that's why I sort of didn't have anything to provide initially. But once I sort of made it clear that, it is low risk and it's no different to someone that's got a cake business, if they're allowed to have, carrot cakes. Why can't I have pumpkin loaves? Like, what's the difference? So yeah, it was more of a educating them type of thing, because they're not used to it. Like it's an original thing that they're not used to. So it's just
it doesn't fit into their categories. Like our jellies kind of fit into jam.
Yeah.
And our loaves kind of fit into cakes without cream. And so do the pizza bases and everything else, because it's the same ingredients, just in different recipes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. And also just really recently we had a Primalista in Perth join, and she joined, and she thought, I won't go through all the training yet. I'll get my kitchen approved first, right? So don't do that, right? Go through the first week of training, because in there we show you how to get your kitchen approved. She was emailing me, oh, well, I can't get my kitchen approved. And I was like, well, why not? Like, send me through your application. And, I've been helping people get their kitchens approved for 10 years. So I used to, really be scared of councils, but now I just love it. I'm like, give it to me. Come on, let me see why they won't approve you. And I looked at it, and she hadn't put the food safety program in, and she'd just taken some recipes off the blog, like they weren't the primal alternative recipes. It was like a crispy cake recipe or something. I was like, what is this? What is this application? This is rubbish. No, no wonder you're getting turned down. Like, have you not sent the food safety program? So she got an absolute flat no. You can't make these products from home. You can't do it in your kitchen. And then she stopped that application and started again and followed the primal alternative method with the food safety program, the covering letter, and like literally within 10 days she was approved. So that's a really good asset to help you get. It's like 196 pages long. It's got lab tests to prove everything's low risk, and it's got all of our methods and how we store our ingredients and how we label it and everything. It's just it's written actually, but I've written it with environmental health officers. It follows their checklist. So they just go, oh yes, tick, tick, tick. Instead of before, when Emily joined, they were like, something with hemp seeds? Are hemp seeds legal?
Yeah. Yeah, it was just totally, as I said, it was just different for them. They weren't used to seeing applications like that. It's very alternative age. So
it is. It's a bit crunchy.
Yeah,
that's for sure. That's for sure. What about you, Manda? What was your council approval like?
The hardest part was knowing what to fill in on the form, because as you say, the form is designed for cafes and restaurants and stuff like that. So they were asking all kinds of things. When I think I might have asked you some questions, or in the Facebook group, Once I got the form filled in, it was so easy. They came out, all they wanted to do is check that I had hot water from the hot tap. I turned on the tap. Is it hot? Yeah. I needed to have a double sink, which I had, or a dishwasher. Um, yeah, and it's just making, like I do come from a commercial cookery background, back in the UK. And, I was very aware of having a separate hand washing sink and all that kind of thing. Don't need that. You just need to be able to show them that you've got somewhere to wash your hands that isn't in the same sink that you're rinsing your zucchini or washing your dishes. So it's just a conversation. It was so easy. Gold Coast is so cruisy.
It's a good one.
Um, what they did say, I've had the same guy come out to me each time since the initial application he's done each year. And he did say to me this time, we're mixing it up next year. You might not get me.
Oh,
Like there's half a dozen different EHOs on the Gold Coast, and they just do it so that you're not complacent. So it's a great reminder to make sure that you don't get complacent and that you're doing the thing. But yeah, easy.
easy. Awesome.
Yeah.
And what sort of prices, like what's the cost on the Gold Coast to get
For
you?
the license.
Yeah.
This was the other thing that confused me. I'm like, where do I pay? I don't know where to pay. Zero. Zero.
Really?
No. Yeah, I know.
Wow.
I'm like, they can't have approved it. I've not paid anything.
So that's
Yeah,
not, yeah, that's not like the council.
that's not.
Not to,
I know. I know. So yeah, shush.
don't say anything. All right. But good news if you're on the Gold Coast. What about you,
Yeah.
Emily? How much is it for you?
I can't really remember. I think I pay like about $100 or $120 a year or something like that just to keep it active. I didn't need to do any course or anything like that. I know some councils and some states require like a food safety course that wasn't required of my council. So
Did you have to do anything online, like the I am aware or whatever it's
no,
called these days? No. Hmm.
no, no.
Mine was $500 in WA for the council approval, and I had an inspection. Then nobody's been to even see me for 10 years.
Yeah, it's so different across the board. So yeah, it's really important to check what your requirements are.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is very
yeah.
different, but a lot easier than people think. And as long as you're like doing the right thing and not um not doing anything dodgy, then it's straightforward. And then yeah, my annual renewal is $10 a month, so
Mm.
120. But I didn't need to do food safety supervisor. I did need to do an online course, and I've got another link to have a refresher because they did come and see me and approved me. Hurrah! Did you have to do food safety supervisor, Amanda?
Only last year. I didn't have to at the beginning. And then last year they brought it in that you had to. So
Was
yeah,
it
we all scrambled and
straightforward? Was it fairly straightforward?
it was. Yeah. Yeah, it was just I just did it online. And yeah, it was.
Cool.
Yeah.
What's it like in Victoria, Gail? So Victoria is the flagship of
Oh, okay.
food business registration. All the other states look up to Victoria. So what's it like in the
Oh, really?
prodigal state?
Yeah, well, every council's different. My council is fairly strict in a lot of areas, so I was quite surprised it wasn't a major issue. I think they're meant to come out every twice a year. They're a bit strong on that, but they don't. They say they will, but I suppose that's just to keep you on your toes. But again, if you're doing the right thing, there's nothing to worry about. Also, there's levels of costs, and it's mostly if we don't use any meat products or that's a big one. I think that's the highest level. If you're using meat and making those kind of things, you pay a lot more for that level. I think it's level 4 or something like that. And I think we're level 2 or level 3, something like we could be all different. And I honestly can't remember how much I paid. I think it was around 200, but I'm just about due again, I think, from memory. So I guess I'll find out how much how much it's going to be, and because it's gone up, I think, a few times since I started. But again, in the end, nothing really. I was expecting a lot more questions and a lot more issues. So hopefully that doesn't change.
Yeah. And did you need to do food safety supervisor where you are or anything online?
No, I don't think so, but I already have that anyway from other businesses I've done. And so perhaps I just showed them, but I don't think I had to from memory, and it was just fortunate that I already had that.
Yeah, that's awesome. It seems to be the places for food safety supervisor seems to be North Queensland. So sort of
Mm.
anywhere Brisbane and up. Like, places like Townsville, Cairns can be a little bit more.
Maybe because of the heat, maybe.
I don't think so. I think
No,
it's
I don't
just
know.
different, different regulations. But yeah. All right. Well, this is good. The other thing I was going to ask you, I think this can be our last question because what are we on? 9:20 or different time wherever you are.
But I just answer Robin. She's just asked a
Yes, your almond
question
meal
there.
question. Yeah.
Yeah, Robin, it depends on the recipe. If it needs blanched, I'll use those. Normal, but mostly they're all blanched almonds, and you don't have to do that yourself. They come in bulk, and yeah, they're easy to manage. But I think there are a few of the cookie recipes maybe that just use normal I just can't remember now, but yeah, I think basically 90% of the time it's blanched, but it again depends on the recipe, Robin.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. You didn't have to sit and peel them all or soak them and get the skins.
Oh no.
That would be, I mean, good on you for, I could not be bothered to mill all my almond meal. And I always say, no, 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 don't mill your almond meal. Oh, you'll be, but if you want to do it and you
Oh,
enjoy doing it, you
10
can.
seconds, 10
Yeah.
seconds, it's done.
Yeah. And she'll sell you a Thermix as well.
Absolutely.
Oh, so funny, so funny. All right, last question to wrap up and last chance for live attendees. Drop your questions. Like this is it. You've got people here right now. Ask your questions. But I think the question I'd like to finish on is about stockists. Like first of all, like approaching or getting customers. Like, how did you go? What's your strategy? What's it like? Is it scary? Just that kind of question. So I'm sorry I didn't prepare you for these questions. I'm just making them up now. But we'll go we'll go to Emily. If you can cast your mind back all those years ago when you first walked into GDs and Blackwood, what did you do? What was your pitch?
I was just a customer. So, you just chat to the shop owners and, this is what I'm doing. I've got new products. Do you want to give it a go? And yeah, it's normal to feel nervous, obviously, because of that fear of rejection. What if they say no? But like, what if they say no? If they say no, they say no. So there's no harm in asking. And yeah, people contacted me as well. So it wasn't all about me just going and getting customers. People would contact me. And I did heavily advertise like in my local buy swap sell a lot initially. And I just don't do that anymore because I don't need to. I've got my consistent regular customers. So if I was wanting to upscale my business, I would go out there and put myself out there again. But I'm not needing to at the moment. So yeah, you do need to put yourself out there. Some customers come to you, but not everyone's going to come to you. You do need to, generate business. So,
And so the posts in the buy swap sell groups, that was just organic, free.
yeah.
Wow,
That
it's
was
really good.
like, this is my new business, bringing it to the community, all that sort of thing. And that was good having then a stockist in the community as well, as I mentioned, for credibility. So it's not just you selling directly to customers. You've got a stockist, you've got a shop that wants to supply your products. So yeah,
No, that's awesome.
got to put
That's so
yourself
good.
out there a bit, and people come to you, but you've got to go to them as well. So
Yeah. And people will find you through the Primal Alternative
yeah,
website as well, because
yeah,
we list you on there. And I know Primalistas, we give you a Primal Alternative email as well. So when you finally get your email set up, oh, how do I do this? And ports and IMAPs and POPs and all this technical stuff. And when you finally get it set up, usually there'll be some orders in there. So people will have found you. We launch you twice. So once when you become a new Primalista, we let everyone know someone's coming in their area. And then also when you become open for business, which is when you've got your kitchen approved and you're ready to start taking orders, essentially, we'll promote you again. And that's when you go onto the website and people will find you that way and place orders. But Emily's right, you do need to put yourself out, especially at the beginning, like when no one knows what you're doing. You need to talk about it and, maybe get into some of those Most communities have got like women in businessy kind of coffee chitty chatty things where you can get involved with, or even do like collaborations, like gift some stuff. Like I'm gifted stuff to my naturopath and my chiropractor, and then they post it on their social media and tag you in, and then the naturopath's recommended your fruit toast. Oh, this is good. And then the next thing you know, you've got three lifetime customers that order fruit toast every week. It's just these really nice kind of organic, natural, authentic ways to generate orders that can be a real buzz as well. What about you, Manda? How did you get your customers?
I was lucky to begin with because a couple of Primalistas in Brisbane had moved away from the area. So I picked up some stockists and a whole load of ingredients and all the things from there. So I didn't have to go out and look for stockists right at the beginning, but then I did. And just conversations. Like I hated it. Even bringing it people that I know and love. Like I'm just not naturally a salesperson. And actually, H, the last question I thought you were going to ask us was about people sitting on the fence.
Oh
And
yeah, that is the one question I need to ask you.
well, I'm going to cover it now. Back yourself. If what's holding you back is your confidence, borrow hours. I was told that a little while ago
Mm,
by one of my coaches. It's like
oh, I
you can
like
have my
that.
confidence. Yeah, have my confidence. Use mine until you've grown your own. It's like,
Oh, I
well,
like that. Oh, I'm
you
going to
can
write
have
that
that.
down.
I know. Good. So yeah, and then same as Emily, I just post in our local community pages. I've done an order. I've got some leftover product, not often available for sale. Here it is. Create a little bit of scarcity, and then those people come back as well. I've never paid for advertising, but yeah, when I do feel that I need a little boost in fresh customers, and I'll just reach out to the community pages round and about. And like, yeah, Gold Coast Girls in Business is a page that I often post in if somebody's asking, you know, who did they recommend for X, Y, and Z. I'll jump in and say, have you tried Primal Alternatives? Blah, blah, blah. Here's my link. Yeah, yeah, you've got to, I mean, there's one of two ways, isn't there? You can either just have this as a complete hobby business and just rely on the odd thing coming in,
Mhm.
and just feed your friends and family. Or you can, yeah, do a little bit of out there and get as busy as you want to.
Yeah. Yeah. Brilliant. I love that. And I think we used to have a thing, Primalista power, we used to say, like, so when you walk in through the door of a health food shop and you're really nervous and someone's going to say no, no, like, you think, well, all the other Primalistas have walked through that door. We're all behind you. It's the same kind of thing, isn't it? It's borrow my confidence. It's like, it's something a little bit different when you're part of something bigger that's not just you and not just your products. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think what Emily said about, she goes in that health store anyway. She's their customer, so you just start to have little conversations. I don't. For me, going in with a hard, cold sell isn't the way to do it. It's like a little bit of conversations, um, and then yeah,
And then just asking questions, like do people ask you for grain-free, gluten-free, low carb bread? Would you like to offer something that's locally made? Mm,
yeah,
it's not too hard. And you can take samples and they can give it a try. It's not like, we're a big supplier where they've got to order 10,000 SKUs. It's like you can just start with a small order and see how it goes, which is cool. Right, where am I now? I'm lost. What was the question I was asking?
You were asked. What was she asking? Oh, stockists. Gail, how
Stockist,
did you go find your
Gail, and then we'll
stockists?
finish on the what would you do if someone's on the fence? Back to Emily and Gail. Right, Gail.
Yeah, I don't have any stockists at the moment. I've always been a little bit reluctant to go out and do that. But listening
Mm.
to the girls, I know it's been a bit of a time thing. But I have a lady who's going to very shortly put me on her website called Melbourne Wellness Hub, and it's a uh, co-op kind of thing where you can get ingredients and other products and things a lot because they buy everything in bulk, and it's a lot cheaper. And I'm hoping very shortly that that'll go up. And other than that, I'm just getting stuff from the orders on the website. Quite a few of those come in, and it's lovely when I get somebody come back for more products, and I've got a few regulars. And yeah, I do need to probably advertise on my local. I've never even thought of doing that, which is a bit strange. Thank you, girls. I'm picking up tips here as well. And again, a time thing, I need to do that. Also, this is a bit crazy, but I've just moved into a retirement village. So if you're eight, I don't know about you girls that are online here today, but I'm coming up to 75 and I'm still happy to do all of this. So don't let anything like that ever stop you. But just about everybody's got some sort of inflammation problem. And so I'm going to have a little afternoon tea at some stage and just present the products and talk about how grains are extremely inflammatory and just see if any of them would like to try. I'll just start with a few samples of a few things. And that's the plan at the moment because they love to come along to anything with food.
Who doesn't?
Exactly. And then I just bumped into another gentleman this morning who's just been diagnosed with lupus and a couple of other things. So I'm just going to give him a loaf or a wrap or something and just get him. He said, "Oh, gluten doesn't bother me," and
That's what he's like. Oh,
yeah,
but
I know.
have you tried without it?
Exactly. So I've got a captive audience here. I'm sure that's probably not everybody's experience, but yeah. So I'm going to use it, the products here, and just see if people want to just try them first and just see how we go. Don't know how it'll go, but boy, oh boy, there's some issues. There's some issues here. I shouldn't be laughing about it.
Well, it's just the way it's just the way it is, It's
it
and
is.
these products aren't just for hardcore like paleo keto
No,
heads, it's for
no.
people who are looking for like whole food alternatives that's
Yeah,
just gonna like not give them that bloat or the reflux or all
yeah,
of the things that
yeah.
people just sort of live with. And I think it's
Yeah.
how many people are in your retirement home?
At the moment, I think there's about 150, but that's not filled yet. There's still only two-thirds of it is filled. They keep on building.
You could just have a business selling to
Maybe there.
to those people and
Not
just
have to
can you
go out
imagine that?
in.
Just going around and like having a little like coffee catch up and here's some brownies and here's some chocolate chip cookies and some fruit toast with honey on and a cup of tea and would you like to order? It's just from me and they can drop it off and have a bit chit chat and full
Absolutely.
retail price. You don't have to worry about stockists and margins and I love it, Gail.
Things like
That's a
that.
great idea.
Well, yeah, that's the plan, and I've only been in for a couple of months, and I'm just still unpacking a few things, and I'll just take that opportunity and have a little morning tea or afternoon tea or something, and do samples, and when they taste how delicious it all is, hopefully they'll start to order.
I love it. And you don't have to be in a retirement home to do that, right? Any kind of place that you're part of that's a community, like sports groups, church groups, school, offices. Like when I used to go to my markets at the Steiner School, I used to drop off to the high school and the primary school on the way for like parents like we live in the country, right? So shoving packages of bread in kids' school bags, taking out little envelopes of cash. But like, it's just me, just going through the kids' school bags and like, oh, g'day, Helen. No worries, love. And then, yeah, just anywhere where there's bodies of people. It doesn't have to be on an online shop. It doesn't have to be in a health food store. Like people are doing that. What can you do that's a little bit more personal and people can get to meet the baker and it's a buzz. There's lots of different ways to do it. Are we on to the question of what would you do? What would you say to someone who's on the fence? We're doing that.
Yeah.
All right, Emily.
I just think there isn't really much to lose. So why don't you give it a go? Because you can recoup your costs pretty quickly once you start selling to customers. And you might be amazed at how many people in your community do prioritize healthy eating and clean eating. And they might just be really thankful to have you bring Primal Alternative to them. So go for it if you're sitting on the fence.
Love
That's
it.
what I'd say.
Love it. And Gail, what about you? What would you say?
Yeah. Oh, look, you've got nothing to lose. It's there's so many advantages. The working from home, the products yourself that you can have, helping out people. I love it when somebody is benefiting from what we do. It's just so uplifting to do that and give it a go. That's all I could say.
Love it. Manda, any final words? I love you always come from a lovely like coaching. It's always like something really nice. Like, what else can we get from you?
Yeah, well, here's my last thing. It was one of the questions about how life has changed since becoming a Primalista, and we haven't spoken about the money. It's
No.
like it took all of that thing. So I take my Primal Alternative by Manda team, consists of me and my partner and son by default. We go every year since I've done it. Primal Alternative has paid for our Christmas staff party, and we go and have a little vacation in Brisbane overnight, pays all the expenses. I've had just come back off a retreat, which Primal Alternative paid for. It's not tax advice.
Primal Alternative by Manda paid for, not Primal
Primal
Alternative.
Alternative by Manda, absolutely. Um, not tax advice at all, but I did some marketing there. So, some of that potentially could be, I don't know, could be claimable. Staycations, I've built money on the side for my crypto and share portfolio. So the money that I make in Primal Alternatives is my money to do with what I want, and I'm using it to grow other income producing streams and for treating the family. And I wouldn't have done that in a normal job. Still have probably been earning a same or less, I don't know, amount of money, but it's just sitting away, ticking away, accounts increasing, pull it out and use it for lifestyle, and that really is what keeps me going.
Yeah. Yeah, wow. I love that. And I love
But yeah,
the lifestyle bank as well. It's like it's great to be having your investments and building all of your future and all of that and reducing your debts but there needs to also be those lifestyle bank investments where you go on those staycations or those little trips. Or like, I just took the kids, the whole family on a big camping trip and I've always thought we're too busy, we can't afford it. It was too much, it's going to be too stressful. And sometimes it's like the holiday you didn't know that you needed
yeah.
to do, and wow, like just
Well,
those
even when I drop off
memories.
yeah, absolutely. Even when I drop off at a stockist on a Saturday or Sunday morning, I go on my own. It's only 15 minutes from home. I go on my own and I sit and have a coffee and cake, and it's my time.
Mm,
And I
yeah.
wouldn't do that if I wasn't dropping off a delivery. I wouldn't leave the house to go out for coffee and cake. So I had to
No,
make it up.
no, yeah, just stay in, do another load of washing.
But yeah, exactly. But I get to sit there and listen to a guy playing the guitar or singing. Like, it's
Oh,
just like a really
nice. Yeah,
nice little, yeah.
love
Anyway,
that. Love that.
somebody in the chat is asking.
Yes, you can answer that one because you're a celiac.
Yeah. So I'm really careful to not make claims that I shouldn't be making. But what I do tell people is that all of our ingredients are gluten-free by ingredient. So our products therefore are. I can safely say in my kitchen, I probably have gluten in my kitchen, I don't know, 2% of the time. Like when the in-laws come, they have proper bread. And I just make sure I do a really good clean, obviously, because I am celiac. So I don't think we're not celiac society endorsed. There's lots of costs that come along with that. But I can safely say, because of my processes in the kitchen, that I'm comfortable saying to celiacs, you're good to go. I don't know what the official line is. H?
Yeah, well, we're grain free, so we're naturally gluten free, is what is the official line. We
Yeah.
can't say gluten free because of celiac disease, and gluten free is a highly regulated claim. So if you do want to put gluten free on your labels, you have to have a specifically gluten free kitchen that has to meet all these standards. And just in terms of compliance for micro bakers like Primalistas, it's not viable. So we do we keep the ingredients separate. We do big clean before we start baking. So we do everything we can to reduce cross contamination. But we are baking from domestic kitchens where, maybe a few hours before the teenage boy was having 12 wheat bix or whatever it is they have, or Nutrigrain or whatever, a normal toast. So there is a risk. And over the years, I've had our kitchen's pretty much gluten free, and got celiac customers, and they haven't had a problem. But we have had celiac customers that have had problems. So we really put that down to the celiac customer, and we tell them all of that, and then it's up to them. What about you, Emily? Have you had any experience of that?
No, I just explained, yep, there's always a chance of cross-contamination, but you clean everything thoroughly before you start baking. I don't bake when the kids are home because I don't bake during the school holidays. So they're the only ones that probably have gluten in the house. But yeah, no, I've never had someone say I'm celiac. You know, am I able to have this definitively? So
Yeah.
yeah, not a
Yeah.
problem.
Have you
Mm.
had any experience of that, Gail?
No, and I am completely gluten free. I don't have any gluten in my house because of my own issues. And so I can guarantee that to people, but no one's ever asked.
Mm.
Um, so, yeah, it's not to say it won't happen in the future, but again, we can say we're grain free, therefore naturally gluten free.
Well
And
done.
yeah, I know it's a distinction, but
Yeah,
it's as I said right at the very beginning, the minute I gave up grains, my health improved
same. Yeah.
100%.
Amazing. Amazing. So if you just want, I just want to check in the chat that everybody can see the link to the grain-free challenge, which leads us very nicely into that. Thank you, Gail. So everybody that's here today, I'll just copy it and drop it again, gets to do the grain-free challenge. I can already see some of you have been signing up for it. So it's just a 7-day program where little videos from me and swap this for that, so what do you have instead of rice, what do you have instead of pasta, and all the normal like bready, well, can you not eat cake anymore? All those sorts of things, recipes to try, a little bit of science behind why grains aren't that great. Yeah, so it can just be a really fun challenge, and try some new recipes, get some new inspiration, because good Lord knows we always need more of that in the kitchen. Right. Any final words before we wrap up? Anybody want to say anything?
I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
Yes, the bake along. Me too. Oh, that's good. I'm so glad you're doing it because, yeah, it's just too early in the morning for me, my kitchen to be of standard, to be on the telly.
I'm really sorry, but I've missed something. What is happening tomorrow?
Oh my goodness. Well, Gail, now that you've asked, tomorrow we are having a bake along and we're going to be making some grain-free bread. We just a normal loaf, like if you're just looking for like a swap from your normal bread, this is a really just a nice plain loaf, really nice and simple. If you've registered for the virtual open week, you get the recipe. So some people come along just to watch. Some people actually bake with us. So Manda will be baking the grain-free loaf, and while it's baking, it takes about 20 minutes, half an hour.
Half an hour or so, yeah.
It's
So that's
180 degrees.
sorry, that's what I've missed. The link to the virtual open week. That's what I'm missing because I've been working all week full time.
Oh.
Where can I find that link, H?
Well, if you go to primalalternative.com/vow, like virtual open week, you can register for it there, or you can just use this same Zoom link, and we'll be here tomorrow.
Yeah,
If
fantastic.
you want to join,
What time does it start?
8:30 Perth time,
It's time. Okay,
which is what
beautiful.
time's that? South Australian time? South Australian.
10 a.m. South Australian time, and I think 10:30 your
30.
time, Gail.
Yep, yep,
And
definitely. That's
then
today.
yeah, so love to see you all there. And then while the loaf is baking, we have a bit of a Q&A. So normally for the bake log, we have everyone's cameras on, so we can see everyone in their kitchen, which is pretty much fun, a lot of fun. So yeah, we'll hopefully have a bit of a chat tomorrow if you want to. You can always turn your camera off if you'd rather. But if everyone could just do a little bit of a wave just for a little.
While you're doing photos, Mel's asking about a specific size tin for the loaf tomorrow. I don't know what the size is, not too big.
Let's just take this because I got my finger on the
Yeah, yeah,
button.
yeah.
Right, everybody smile and wave. Gail. Ah. That will be this cover. All right, so Primal Alternative Loaf Tins, and Manda's going to cover this tomorrow, aren't you? You're going to show a
Yeah.
normal tin. So our tins are 20 by 10, so they're quite narrow and tall. So if you use like a normal tin, yours will probably be a lot flatter. It'll sort of come out more like that than ours would. But just use whatever tin you've got. I would go for the narrowest one that you've got, Mel.
Cool.
All right. All right. Da-da-da. Okay, that's it. All right, it's a wrap. Thank you so much for coming and for watching the
You're welcome.
replay. And thank you so much, Primalistas. That was my cup is full, and I really value everything that you contributed today. Thank you very much.
You too.
No worries.
Thank you.
See ya.
Bye, ladies.
Bye.
Bye.
Good day.
Bye.
See ya.